So the best way to enjoy the sex with your wife is another topic for another day. But the best way really is to resolve every problem before going to approach your wife. Because women are unforgiving. They can forgive you about everything. They will wait for you at the entrance way of sexual satisfaction. So you just come, when you around, when you start touching her in the night, that's when you say, please leave me. Oh, she even burst into a song, Satan, don't fall for God. You are the one that is singing along. So if you know there's a problem, it's better you resolve the problem in the daytime and settle everything. Don't go, just think that my wife is my wife. Bible says. It's not Bible says. It's not Bible says. It's not Bible says. Number 6, addiction problems can kill a marriage. Drug, alcohol, gambling, all those things. When you are doing that, it just kills you. Why? You don't get distracted. You drift away from home. Anything you are addicted to captures you. And before you know, your wife will know. A woman called me once on the radio program. A woman called me and said her husband smokes and drinks, and he doesn't want to own up. But that, she knows her husband smokes and drinks. But that before he comes back to the house, he cleans his mouth, he does everything. And she was crying, and I said, keep quiet. I said, you know what? Your husband knows you know. No smoker will deceive himself that the wife does not know. He knows you know, but he doesn't want to hurt you by telling you. I said, so play along with him. Don't discuss the matter with him. And then one day, when the time is right, 2 of you are sitting there together, ask him, do you like smokers? Go gently, don't go frontally. So abuse problems. Abuse of any kind, number 7, can kill a marriage. Physical, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse fall in this category. In emotional abuse, we abuse each other a lot, I used to tell men, don't start what you cannot finish. When you are leaving work, I've left Adeola Odeko. And now on 3rd Mainland Bridge. We have just passed Oworo. You can't believe the hold up at Kenu. Then we just entered Ejigbo. Are you traffic report 96.1? The day you don't do it now, I said, hey, you know where you went to? If you know you don't want to, you can't sustain it, don't start it. We need to talk. Ask your husband, do I say that to you? Ask your husband, is next to you. Say, do I say that to you? We need to. It's women that do it most. Men will come out and say, come. I don't like that thing. Sit down. Why did you do this? Women will keep quiet on around that time, 1 a.m. We need to talk. After that talk, you will not sleep again till morning. And when I said we need to talk, we now back you and face the wall and start speaking in tongues. You start wondering, what is that we need to talk about? Or what Telemundo? 2, managing financial problems lead to marriage failure. When there's no money, those 2 extremes cause problems. When there's too much money, there's challenge. How to manage it. When there's no money also, there's challenge. Once a man starts getting blessed at work and the woman is getting blessed at work, the woman starts getting afraid that they will take her husband. It's as if once a man is poor, it's a better thing for the woman. Once your husband starts earning like 6 figures, say 500, Jesus! He has just changed his car, bought the car for you, he starts dressing well, say, I'm in trouble, Most women prefer their husband to just be not too poor, so that the man can be humble, Not too poor, so that the man can be humble. Say, my husband should not be too rich. This is Lagos. If God wants to bless us, let him bless me. Then we know how to manage. If this man get money, he will leave me. That's why. But whatever it is, we need to understand how to manage money. Financial problems are also part of the communication debacle. Most men want their wives to always ask for money. And it's a very big problem. You know your wife needs money, and you wait for her to virtually write a letter of application like bank loan with collateral. Are you getting me? I beg to apply to buy food stuff for the food all of us will eat in the house. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. We need to change. If your husband is here, say we need to change. We need to change. We need to change. We need to change. You know? And that's always where the problem comes from. If a man, and women too, some women are very poor in financial management. And it starts like this. When they find out their husband has money, that's when they start giving requests. And that's why some men don't say when God has blessed them. Because we just come and just praise God. I just got this 2.5 million. Hey, don't forget it. Don't forget it. 2.5 million. Hey, you are owing me. You know? I've come to accept that I'm permanently owing my wife till I die. So because sometimes I don't wonder where the debt will come from, you know. Went to Canada from New York. As we just were boarding, my wife said, you're owing me $800. I said, which $800 again? He said, you won't remember. You remember the 800? I had to start. I didn't bother to think. Because what would you think to that? 800? Sometimes the money of bread I bought in 1985. You know, so I just $800. And immediately, I just dropped $400. I said, I'll be paying small. There's no, and you know, and I don't know, women have the way of knowing when you are owing them. They never owe you. They never owe you. And when they owe you, they can never pay. And the common passage is, owe no man, owe no woman. The Bible says, owe no man, nothing. So, women will owe you. And when you ask for, say, it's because that $5 you are talking about, what's the $5? Your mates are giving their wife $500. Oh, they are talking to them. But when is their turn? Hey! In Jamaica, Gabriel, and all of them will attend that meeting. You know? And they will tell, even the children will know that is owing mommy. That's why when women buy things for their children, they make it clear to them, it's mommy that bought it for them. And you know how they do, say, look at the shoe I bought for you last year. Johnny, remember this shoe? Honey, that's the shoe I bought when I went to France. Turn around. Look at that shirt. You know, I remember that trip to Hawaii. That's when I bought that shirt. We know. One day my son made me say, Dad, why is that everything in this house is mommy that bought it? I said, anything. I said, it's because any small thing, that thing I bought for you here, that thing I bought for you here. I said, the one I bought at home, I'm always forgetting. I'll start writing them too. So I can start telling you the one I bought for you. I just told him, I said, well, everything plus your mother, I bought all of them. How a couple deals with financial issues can break a marriage. And it starts from, and these days that women are getting jobs more than men. When an economy dies and is depressed, industries die, manufacturing dies, and service industries go up, hotels, and hospitals, and those are the areas where women get jobs. So for the next many years, more women will get jobs than men. And women are now becoming more economically endowed than their husbands. Because of that, even the goat in the compound knows that the food was cooked by the money of the wife. You know how? If goat put head inside the husband, carry it, you know how much I spent to cook that head? That's how the goat knows that it was the woman's money they used to cook the food. Say, I don't touch, it. Dustbin outside you. You are telling goat to remove hair from dustbin because you use your money. So how do we solve this thing now? We need to know whether the person you are married, getting married to is very stingy, hardworking, and sometimes you really want to propel him to work hard. Sometimes you may have to use your connection as a woman to get your husband jobs. But don't remind him, this is what I'm getting for you now. Don't come and tell me tomorrow you want to marry another woman. You marry another woman, this job will kill you in Jesus' name. You and this job, that will not come down. Because when a woman gets a job for a man, she will tie the thing with one rope. If you marry another woman, this job my uncle is giving you in first bank. The day you will lose the job and you will die. So we need to help our husbands, and when we help them get jobs, let's not remind them that we're the ones that got the job for them. It's done it very well. Number 3, family problems. Family relationships, including how to manage children, parents, in-laws, siblings, stepchildren from other marriages, can break a marriage. The way it is handled can. Why do marriages fail? Is what we are talking about. Managing family issues can break a marriage. And that's why my own suggestion about that is that most men should allow their wives take care of this issue very well. You see, if your wife tells you that there's a particular person she doesn't like, just leave the person. You won't lose anything. Actually, you see, women have a way of looking at people and seeing demons every time and seeing Holy Spirits, that they say you don't see, now we didn't see, now we didn't see, now we didn't see. Yes, So if your wife just sees you, maybe you have a brother, and your wife tells you that this your brother here, I don't want him in this house. Manage it wisely. Best thing to do is tell him, okay, I was what I can. By the way, why don't you want him? My spirit doesn't agree with him. I've had several dreams, and I'm beginning to think that, the enemy is bringing a problem into this family. How do you handle that? First thing, just tell your brother, don't come again. Just stay off for some time. Because if you don't stop your brother from coming to the house, it will become an issue. And your wife will continue to talk about it. If the curtain falls down, it's your brother. If your car has flat tire, it's your brother. If your car doesn't start in the morning, I told you, that dream I dreamt, look at it, just tell him to stay away for some time. After that, you're not going to meet her. Can we pray about this, my brother's case? Just stop. My own principle in preventing challenges in my home is I love peace. I can use my money to buy peace. Whatever it will take to get peace sometimes, I do it. If it do not kill me. Understand? And the best way to deal with matters is if your wife says, this person, I don't like the person, make her to know. Even if you are going to allow the person to come to the house, what women want to hear is that I won't die because of this person. You don't like this person, it's okay. Even if you are going to allow the person, but just start off like that. I hope the women are not hearing me because they say you want to use that Dr. Boyo system on me. And I think I wasn't in that meeting that day, all right? But we make them not to hear us, not to hear it very well. In Jesus' name, amen. So if your wife is trying to bring somebody to the house, just allow it. Just say yes first and say, let's think about it. The moment you say, he's going to come, do your worst, she will get ready for a battle. Just say, prophet. I know you have seen some things again. Say, yes, the Lord spoke to me. I say, please tell God to tell us about how to get this our rent now. This God they talk about my brother only. May God tell you how we will get this rent. And in fact, the issue of that rent, I'm coming into your hands in Jesus' name. The God that began the good work in you will finish it. You will go and make God about this our rent. Then she'll calm down. It can't be God. No. Give her tasks. Since she's not a prophet, give her tasks. Send prayer requests for her. Maybe she wants to pray. Say God spoke to her. Say, hey, who will win election? I want you to tell me whether it's Boyo or good luck. That's another prayer request too. And I'm going out tomorrow to work. I'm going to see the MD of Unilever. Before you wake up tomorrow morning, tell me what you will say. Since you are the one God is using in this house now. When she tells you, you come back, you say, people like say that's not correct. And so you go say, my brother, but this is your prophecy is very true. Because once she finds out that you are expecting her prophecies, she will start keeping quiet too, and she begins to find out that they are loopholes. That's how the other day you said that good luck will win, didn't win. Shall you see now? It's that same prophecy you want to talk about my brother. Bible says, judge all prophecies. I've judged your own. So if a woman is insisting, just say, I've heard you. It's okay. Johnny, you can go away. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, come. Then ask her that let's pray about this thing and find out the will of God about it. When she finds out that you're going spiritual, she will calm down. If you're just going to insist, you will not sleep, she will not sleep. At the end of the day, both of you will just develop sickness. Mm-hmm. So what do we do therefore? My own way of doing is that I allow my wife to decide about those little things. It's my wife's parents and family members that come to my house more often. But I find out that it gives me more peace. When my brother comes to sleep in there, that's when they say he broke plate, he broke tumbler. When their people come, I don't even know what they broke. Everything's always perfect. Well, I don't hear anything. Everything just as if they are perfect. Everything will just go. I just enter my room, I just sleep, wake up. As I will see them talking. They don't. Whether they eat or they don't eat, I don't know. Whether they everything just goes auto cruise. But when your father comes, that's when they say, what did daddy eat? When their mother comes, they don't ask me, they just cook. They just do everything like that. So I just say, it's not only 70, 80 years, but just continue to do your one. You know, when you begin, that's why there are some things you just have to have peace. I want men, for instance, don't carry your wife's handset. I want to read. Every time you carry handset, you want blind? What are you looking for? If you have security, just forget the handset. Checking handset is a woman's job. Their FBI, that's their gift of the spirit, reading handset. If a woman has not read your text message, she will not sleep. Even when you are sleeping at night, she will not be reading text message. If you like, the password is only 4 letters they will crack it. It is a God-given grace. Anything you don't want to be in your answer, just delete. Because like I said, they will get it. When you think they are sleeping and they will just watch you sleep, when they just like, you say, thank God. Bring the answer there. 1959, Junior's birthday, 2015, his father, 6th of August, 1915, 0608, This man wicked, Our address, this address and our former address, 21 and 82, he didn't enter. Father, give me wisdom in Jesus' name. The Bible says, there's word of knowledge, word of wisdom, Father, Holy Ghost fire. Also getting what is inside. All the men inside, I think your wives are not ready your phone. You are lying. They have read it. After they will put it back in the normal place again and do sign of the cross on top of your phone and say, you two will wake up and say, this woman can't read my password is double password protected. The woman told me how she has the password for her husband's briefcase. That the man doesn't give her money, but she knows how much is in that thing. That when he's sleeping, just open it and say, look, yeah, man, look money. I said, you are stealing. He said, he's not stealing. The Bible says, everything is for two of us. Number 4, sex problems. Sex is an important part of marriage and the source of many marriage problems. Every marriage requires the act of consummation by sexual intercourse. Failure to consummate a marriage or problems with sexual frequency, quality, and infidelity are common reasons for marriage failure and divorce. True. 80% of women that are married don't enjoy sex. They don't really enjoy sex. In fact, research has shown that most women have orgasm once every 10 sexual intercourse. And their husbands are not concerned. Most men sleep with their wives for their own personal satisfaction. Only 1 out of 10 men sleep with their wives with the intention of making their wives enjoy the sex. They don't, true, All right. The man has said true. They don't even ask the woman, they don't even have time to ask the woman, the thing's sweet. When? Do you enjoy this thing? No. The sex is for them. They just stand up, that's when they start asking you, what was the score? Who won between Manchester United and Manchester? Match that was played 6 hours ago. Now I don't play that. I don't have Manchester United and Arsenal. Now you want to know who won. They don't finish in work. How many men will sleep with their wives, have sex with their wives, and still hold their wives? No. Others will go and take their bath and then carry a newspaper of 1875 and start reading what they cannot understand. Because true. Most men after the age of 40 are already having degenerative sexual relationship because of erectile dysfunction, hormonal imbalance, and things like that. And again, many drugs that we take also counter sexual vibrancy. Most of the antihypertensives, anti-diabetic drugs counter all these things. But the men will just making noise, I can do 4 rounds, It's a big lie. The average man can only have sex once in a night. If you want to try, say, go do 2. That 2 will take like 1 week to recover. So that's if you really satisfy his wife. Any man that satisfies his wife will not come near you tomorrow. He will go and recover and use a bookie, rub his waist to come on. All this story that you see, all those things you see about pornography, they are not normal human beings. They are called sex athletes. All those pornographic things you see people, they rub pomade on their bodies, they are sex athletes. They practice, they do it, it's their way of life. And they're on drugs and every kind of enhancing drugs to be able to do it. So if you say you want to try it with your wife, you don't find out that they will admit you very soon. So, the best way to enjoy the sex with your wife is another topic for another day. But the best way really is to resolve every problem before going to approach your wife. Because women are unforgiving. They can forgive you about everything. They will wait for you at the entrance way of sexual satisfaction. So when you just come, when you start touching her in the night, that's when you say, please leave me, leave me, leave me, leave me. Oh, she even burst into a song. Satan, don't fall for God. You are the one that is singing now. So if you know there is a problem, it's better you resolve the problem in the daytime and settle everything. Don't go, just think that my wife is my wife. Bible says. It's not Bible says. It's not Bible says. It's not Bible says. Number 6, addiction problems can kill a marriage. Drug, alcohol, gambling, all those things. When you are doing that, it just kills you. Why? You don't get distracted. You drift away from home. Anything you are addicted to captures you. And before you know, your wife will know. A woman called me once on the radio program. A woman called me and said her husband smokes and drinks, and he doesn't want to own up. But that, she knows her husband smokes and drinks. But that before he comes back to the house, he cleans his mouth, he does everything. And she was crying, and I said, keep quiet. I said, you know what? Your husband knows you know. No smoker will deceive himself that the wife does not know. He knows you know, but he doesn't want to hurt you by telling you. I said, so play along with him. Don't discuss the matter with him. And then one day, when the time is right, 2 of you are sitting there together, ask him, do you like smokers? Go gently, don't go frontally. So abuse problems. Abuse of any kind, number 7, can kill a marriage. Physical, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse fall in this category. In emotional abuse, we abuse each other a lot, I used to tell men, don't start what you cannot finish. When you are leaving work, I've left Adeola Odeko. We're now on 3rd Mainland Bridge. We have just passed Oworo. You can't believe the hold up at Kenu. Then we just entered Ejigbo. Are you traffic report 96.1? The day you don't do it now, I said, hey, you know where you went to? You know where you went to? If you know you don't want to, you can't sustain it, don't start it. We need to talk. Ask your husband, do I say that to you? Do I say that to you? Ask your husband, if he's next to you. Say, do I say that to you? We need to. It's women that do it most. Men will come out and say, come. I don't like that thing. Sit down. Why did you do this? Women will keep quiet on around that time, 1 a.m. We need to talk. After that talk, you will not sleep again till morning. And when I said we need to talk, we now back you and face the wall and start speaking in tongues. You will start wondering, what is that we need to talk about? Or what Telemundo? 2, managing financial problems lead to marriage failure. When there's no money, those 2 extremes cause problems. When there's too much money, there's challenge. How to manage it. When there's no money also, there's challenge. Once a man starts getting blessed at work and the woman is getting blessed at work, the woman starts getting afraid that they will take her husband. It's as if once a man is poor, it's a better thing for the woman. Once your husband starts earning like 6 figures, say 500, Jesus! They are just changed his car, bought the car for you, he starts dressing well, say, I'm in trouble, Most women prefer their husband to just be not too poor, so that the man can be humble, Not too poor, so that the man can be humble. Say, my husband should not be too rich. This is Lagos. If God wants to bless her, let him bless me. Then we know how to manage. If this man get money, he will leave me. That's why. But whatever it is, we need to understand how to manage money. Financial problems are also part of the communication debacle. Most men want their wives to always ask for money. And it's a very big problem. You know your wife needs money, and you wait for her to virtually write a letter of application like bank loan with collateral. Are you getting me? I beg to apply to buy food stuff for the food all of us will eat in the house. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. We need to change. If your husband is here, say we need to change. We need to change. We need to change. We need to change. You know? And that's always where the problem comes from. If a man, and women too, some women are very poor in financial management. And it starts like this. When they find out their husband has money, that's when they start giving requests. And that's why some men don't say when God has blessed them. Because we just come and just praise God. I just got this 2.5 million. Hey, don't forget it. Don't forget it. 2.5 million. Hey, you are owing me. You know? I've come to accept that I'm permanently owing my wife till I die. So because sometimes I don't wonder where the debt will come from, you know. One day my son made me say, Dad, why is that everything in this house is mommy that bought it? I said, it's because any small thing, that thing I bought for you here, that thing I bought for you here. I said, the one I bought at home, I'm always forgetting. I'll start writing them too. So I can start telling you the one I bought for you. I just told him, I said, well, everything plus your mother, I bought all of them. How a couple deals with financial issues can break a marriage. And it starts from, and these days that women are getting jobs more than men. When an economy dies and is depressed, industries die, manufacturing dies, and service industries go up, hotels, and hospitals. And those are the areas where women get jobs. So for the next many years, more women will get jobs than men. And women are now becoming more economically endowed than their husbands. Because of that, even the goat in the compound knows that the food was cooked by the money of the wife. You know how? If goat put head inside the husband, carry, you know how much I spent to cook that head? That's how the goat knows that it was the woman's money they used to cook the food. Say, I don't touch, dustbin outside you. You are telling goat to remove hair from dustbin because you use your money. So how do we solve this thing now? We need to know whether the person you are married, getting married to is very stingy, hardworking, and sometimes you may be the one to propel him to work hard. Sometimes you may have to use your connection as a woman to get your husband jobs. But don't remind him, this is what I'm getting for you now. Don't come and tell me tomorrow you want to marry another woman. You marry another woman, this job will kill you in Jesus' name. You and this job, that will not come there. Because when the woman gets a job for a man, she will tie the thing with one rope. If you marry another woman, this job my uncle is giving you in first bank. The day you will lose the job and you will die. So we need to help our husbands, and when we help them get jobs, let's don't remind them that we're the ones that got the job for them. It's done it very well. Number 3, family problems. Family relationships, including how to manage children, parents, in-laws, siblings, stepchildren from other marriages, can break a marriage. The way it is handled can. Why do marriages fail is what we are talking about. Managing family issues can break a marriage. And that's why my own suggestion about that is that most men should allow their wives take care of this issue very well. You see, if your wife tells you that there's a particular person she doesn't like, just leave the person alone. You won't lose anything. Actually, you see, women have a way of looking at people and seeing demons every time and seeing spirits, that they say you don't see, now we didn't see, now we didn't see, now we didn't see. Yes, So if your wife just sees you, maybe you have a brother, and your wife tells you that this your brother, I don't want him in this house. Manage it wisely. Best thing to do is tell him, okay, I was what I can. By the way, why don't you want him? My spirit doesn't agree with him. I've had several dreams, and I'm beginning to think that, the enemy is bringing a problem into this family. How do you handle that? First thing, just tell your brother, don't come again. Just stay off for some time. Because if you don't stop your brother from coming to the house, it will become an issue. And your wife will continue to talk about it. If the curtain falls down, it's your brother. If your car has flat tire, it's your brother. If your car doesn't start in the morning, I told you, that dream I dreamed, look at it, it's already working. Just tell him to stay away for some time. After that, you're not going to meet her. Can we pray about this, my brother's case? Just stop. My own principle in preventing challenges in my home is I love peace. I can use my money to buy peace. Whatever it will take to get peace sometimes, I do it. If it do not kill me, understand? And the best way to deal with matters is if your wife says, this person, I don't like the person, make her to know. Even if you are going to allow the person to come to the house, what women want to hear is that I won't die because of this person. You don't like this person, so okay. Even if you are going to allow the person, but just start off like that. I hope the women are not hearing me because they say you want to use that Dr. Boyo system on me. And I think I was in that missing that day, all right? But we make them not to hear us, not to hear it very well. In Jesus' name, amen. So if your wife is trying to bring somebody to the house, just allow it. Just say yes first and say, let's think about it. The moment you say, he's going to come, do your worst, she will get ready for a battle. Just say, prophet. And you have seen some things again. Say, yes, the Lord spoke to me. I say, please tell God to tell us about how to get this our rent now. You know, this is going to talk about my brother only. May God tell you how we will get this rent. And in fact, the issue of that rent, I'm coming into your hands in Jesus' name. The God that began the good work in you will finish it. You go and make God about this our rent. Then she'll calm down. It can't be God. No. Give her tasks. Since she's not a prophet, give her tasks. Send prayer requests for her. Maybe she wants to pray. Say God spoke to her. Say, hey, who will win election? I want you to tell me whether it's Boyo or good luck. That's another prayer request too. And I'm going out tomorrow to work. I'm going to see the MD of Unilever. Before you wake up tomorrow morning, tell me what you will say. Since you are the one God is using in this house now. When she tells you, you come back, you say, people like say that's not correct. And so you go say, my brother, I believe it. Your prophecy is very good. Because once she finds out that you are respecting her prophecies, she will start keeping quiet too. And she begins to find out that they are loopholes. That's how the other day you said that good luck will win, didn't win. Sure, you've seen that. It's that same prophecy you want to talk about my brother. The Bible says, judge all prophecies and judge your own. So if a woman is insisting, you say, I've heard you. It's okay. Johnny, you can go away. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go. Then ask her that let's pray about this thing and find out the will of God about it. When she finds out that you're going spiritual, she will calm down. If you're just going to insist, you will not sleep, she will not sleep. At the end of the day, both of you will just develop sickness. Mm-hmm. So what do we do therefore? My own way of doing it is that I allow my wife to decide about those little things. It's my wife's parents and family members that come to my house more often. But I find out that it gives me more peace. When my brother comes to sleep in there, that's when they say he broke plate, he broke tumbler. When their people come, I don't even know what they broke. Everything's always perfect. Well, I don't hear anything. Everything just as if they are perfect. Everything will just go. I just enter my room, I just sleep, wake up. As I will see them talking. They don't. Whether they eat or they don't eat, I don't know. Whether they just everything just goes auto cruise. But when your father comes, that's when they say, what did daddy eat? When their mother comes, they don't ask me, they just cook. They just do everything like that. So I just say, it's not only 70, 80 years, but just continue to do your own. When you begin, that's why there are some things you just have to have peace. I want men, for instance, don't carry your wife's handset. I want to read. Every time you carry a handset, you want blind? What are you looking for? If you have security, just forget the handset. Checking handset is a woman's job. They are FBI, that's their gift of the spirit, reading handsets. If mama has not read your text message, she will not sleep. Even when you are sleeping at night, she will just be reading text message. If you like, the password is only 4 letters they will crack it. It is a God-given grace. Anything you don't want to be in your answer, just delete. Because that is there, they will get it. When you think they are sleeping and they will just watch you sleep, when they just like, you say, thank God. Bring the answer there. 1959, they enter. Junior's birthday, 2015, they enter. His father, 6th of August, 1915, 0608, they enter. This man wicked, Our address, this address and our former address, 21 and 82, they didn't enter. Father, give me wisdom in Jesus' name. The Bible says, there's word of knowledge, word of wisdom, Father, Holy Ghost fire. Also getting what is inside. All All the men is that I think your wives are not ready your phone. You are lying. They are read it. After they will put it back in the normal place again and do sign of the cross on top of your phone and say, you two will wake up and say, this woman can't read my password is double password protected. A woman told me how she has the password for her husband's briefcase. That the man doesn't give her money, but she knows how much is in that thing. That when he's sleeping, just open it and say, look, yeah, man, look, money. Look, money. I said, you are stealing. He said, he's not stealing. The Bible says, everything is for two of us. Number 4, sex problems. Sex is an important part of marriage and the source of many marriage problems. Every marriage requires the act of consummation by sexual intercourse. Failure to consummate a marriage or problems with sexual frequency, quality, and infidelity are common reasons for marriage failure and divorce. True. 80% of women that are married don't enjoy sex. They don't really enjoy sex. In fact, research has shown that most women have orgasm once every 10 sexual intercourse. And their husbands are not concerned. Most men sleep with their wives for their own personal satisfaction. Only 1 out of 10 men sleep with their wives with the intention of making their wives enjoy the sex. They don't, true, eh? Alright. A man has said true. They don't even ask the woman, they don't even have time to ask the woman, the thing's sweet. What? Do you enjoy this thing? No. The sex is for them. They just stand up, that's when they start asking you, what was the score? Who won between Manchester United and Arsenal? Match that was played 6 hours ago. Now you do, I don't play that. I don't have Manchester United and Arsenal. Now you want to know who won. They don't finish in work. You know? How many men will sleep with their wives, have sex with their wives, and still hold their wives? No. Others will go and take their bath and they'll carry a newspaper of 1875 and start reading what they cannot understand. You know? Because, true. Most men, after the age of 40, are already having degenerative sexual relationship because of erectile dysfunction, hormonal imbalance, and things like that. And again, many drugs that we take also counter sexual vibrancy. Most of the antihypertensives, anti-diabetic drugs counter all these things. But the men will just making noise, I can do 4 rounds, I can do 4. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. The average man can only have sex once in a night. If you want to try sex, go do 2. That 2 will take like 1 week to recover. So that's if you really satisfy his wife. Any man that satisfies his wife will not come near you tomorrow. He will go and recover and use a bookie, rub his waist to come around. All this story that you see, all those things you see about pornography, they are not normal human beings. They are called sex athletes. All those pornographic things you see people, they rub pomade on their bodies, they are sex athletes. They practice, they do it, it's their way of life. And they're on drugs and every kind of enhancing drugs to be able to do it. So if you say you want to try it with your wife, you don't find out that they will admit you very soon. So the best way to enjoy the sex with your wife is another topic for another day. But the best way really is to resolve every problem before going to approach your wife. Because women are unforgiving. They can forgive you about everything. They will wait for you at the entrance way of sexual satisfaction. So you just come, when you start touching her in the night, that's when you say, please leave me. She even burst into a song, Satan, don't fall for God. You are the one that is singing around. So if you know there is a problem, it's better you resolve the problem in the daytime and settle everything. Don't go, just think that my wife is my wife. Bible says. This is not Bible says. This is not Bible says. This is not Bible says. Number 6, addiction problems can kill a marriage. Drug, alcohol, gambling, all those things. When you are doing that, it just kills you. Why? You don't get distracted. You drift away from home. Anything you are addicted to captures you. And before you know, your wife will know. A woman called me once on the radio program. A woman called me and said her husband smokes and drinks, and he doesn't want to own up. But that, she knows her husband smokes and drinks. But that before he comes back to the house, he cleans his mouth, he does everything. And she was crying, and I said, keep quiet. I said, no. Your husband knows you know. No smoker will deceive himself that the wife does not know. He knows you know, but he doesn't want to hurt you by telling you. You know, I say, so play along with him. Don't discuss the matter with him. You know, and then one day, when the time is right, two of you are sitting there together, ask him, do you like smokers? Go gently, don't go frontally. So abuse problems. Abuse of any kind, number 7, can kill a marriage. Physical, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse fall in this category. In emotional abuse, we abuse each other a lot, you know. I used to tell men, don't start what you cannot finish. When you are leaving work, I've left Adeola Odeko. We're now on 3rd Mainland Bridge. We have just passed Oworo. You can't believe the hold up at Kenu. Then we just entered Ejigbo. Are you traffic report 96.1? The day you don't do it now, I said, hey, you know where you went to? You know where you went to? Last one. Time. Time is a major issue why marriages collapse. When I did the research, and I asked many women, this was in an Anglican church, I asked many women, why do you think your husband loves you? They said, some of them said yes, they said no. I said, okay, what will you use to know whether your husband loves you or not? They said, doesn't say it. He should be telling me, I love you. Every woman wants your husband to cram it and be telling your wife, I love you. This will not get say, I don't mean them. Whether you mean her, you don't mean her, God will accept it. It is still okay. Just to say, I love you. Honey, I love you. It's reassuring. But don't say it in a way that they will think you are pretending. No? Say, you say I should tell you. You say I should tell you I love you. I've come to say the one for the evening. No, not say I'm not talking. This evening one. No. Don't trivialize it. Are you getting me? Wives just love to be told, I love you. Wives love gifts. Even if your birthday is unknown, don't forget your wife's birthday. Don't forget your wife's birthday. You will never recover. That's something you have to do for your longevity. Put it in your phone, put it on your table, put it everywhere. 3 months to the time, start thinking of what to get your wife. Buy her the kind of card she wants. And don't buy her cooking utensils for the whole house. You know? A man said about his wife, what did he do? Blender. Blender cannot be a gift for your wife because it's the family that needs blender. Buy your wife something that will wow her. And then, men, remember, your wife wants you to remember her father's birthday, her mother's birthday, her siblings' birthday, and the children's birthday. That's how it is done. Even if you don't remember your own father's birthday, are you getting me? It's nice to tell your wife, do you know tomorrow is your daddy's birthday? She likes it. She likes it. Don't say, I've not done my father's birthday. Is it your own father's birthday? Or come on. Even me, say, I don't get birthday. My only birthday is when I was born again. I don't think it's a lie. For your own lifespan. So you not die before your time. Just note all these things down. And before the birthday, begin to find out the kind of thing she likes. Don't promise her what you cannot buy her. So I think I will just rubbish you with a PM. 2016 edition. On that day, you just run away from the house for 2 days. You know. So what am I talking about? Time. About time. When the woman asks, how do you know your husband loves you? We read all the things and we came to one conclusion. Women measure love from their husbands not only by vocalizing it, but by time spent with them. And they want quality time. Like on Saturday, just stay in the house with them. Or wherever you want to go, allow them to follow you to go there. After church on Sunday, ask them where they want to go to. Take them out without the children. They want to go out for dinner. They want to go to the very expensive, even if you don't have the money, go and look for the money. Are you getting me? And occasionally go to expensive. They won't eat much. They just want to talk in the office tomorrow. Say, guess where we went yesterday? Hey! Have you been to the Sky restaurant at Ekoli Meridian? A meal at Sky is 75K. A meal. 2 of you, 150. But you don't tell your wife because she will say, I bring the money, we used to eat in the house. No, we don't do Sky. I will go to Cloud. I don't want to do Cloud. This is Sky restaurant here at home. When you are giving your wife a treat, don't let her see the receipt. There is no need saying that, I don't try for you. See what he explained. It kills the fun. A man did this when he's always showing me, say, look, if I know, look at that dress. Do you know how much about that dress? It's women that talk like that. So what am I saying? Time can make a marriage to fail. That doesn't make a marriage to fail when a husband and wife don't spend time together. They don't talk. They don't do anything. And how can you do it? Look for what your wife likes to do. You don't have to go out. Most women don't want to be going out. So the joy of most women is to have their husband stay at home with them. And not just to stay at home, to talk. Open your mouth and talk. They feel very embarrassed when they see their husbands coming to the compound and their husband greets everybody in the compound. Hi, Mr. John, how are you? Mama Risi, well done. Oh, where? Everybody in the house. When they enter the house, they will hear your voice outside. They start wondering, is my mouth smelly? Why that my husband will never talk to me? You just tell them good morning. Start talking to your wife as if she's an employee in your office. Good afternoon, my food ready. You just eat. After that, say, I want to go and sleep. If you go and sleep, I can't sleep. Don't wake up later and begin to say, where are you? Come here. That's when they will give you back. Summary. For those who are writing, I will just read the thing. I'm not reading everything. I don't want to read the headlines. Time problem is what I just said now. Work and home schedules. Time spent apart. Dangerous. Love is time spent together. Expectation problems. When expectations are not met, it can break a marriage. Personality challenges. I talked about that. Abuse problems. I talked about that. Addiction problems. I talked about that. Friends problems. I talked about that. Sex problems. I talked about that. Family problems. I talked about that. Financial problems. I talked about that. And communication problem. God bless you, Jesus. I want to just say a word of prayer. Father, I pray for each person in the house tonight that we only hear will not experience divorce and that you will protect us. Give us wisdom to put structures in place so that having preached to others will not be castaways. Help us, oh God, that as we are hearing these things, we use them at home. Because to be doers is better than just be hearers. Help us, oh God, in Jesus' name. God bless you.
Please, you can do better than that now. You can do better than that. Wonderful.
Bond has been wonderful today, and the seminar says bonding with Maimuna. So we brought in people, friends, people of like mind, people who are married, people who are in troubled marriages to talk about family unit. And we think that you can learn from it. So if you stay with us, watch, listen, pay attention, work with it, begin to think of how you can change yourself or change your marriage, reinvent your marriage. Create some kind of happiness for yourself. We know that your happiness is not dependent on your spouse. Your happiness is dependent on you. Make yourself happy, bring the best out of yourself, and walk through life with your shoulders high. Not like you're being crumbled or things are falling on you. The world is not going to stop if you die today. So don't let that man or that woman or somebody somewhere frustrate your life. Stay with us on Bond.
I'm at liberty to pick the people I want to talk with. And when we start the talk, you can contribute, make inputs. And so we can talk and end the night. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate every one of you. Nice to have you here. I can see beautiful faces, wonderful looking people. I know that marriages and families will get better one day. Amen. Please, Sister Julie.
Help us. Thank you. Welcome, man. Thanks for your patience. You're welcome. Isn't she beautiful? Please, another round of applause for her. Strong woman.
Yes, anyway.
Dr. Boyo.
No. Dr. Boyo is not joining us anymore. But
I don't seem to have enough of him.
You will. He's going to talk to us.
All right.
Okay. James, where are you? James Fargo. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to have an interactive session. We're looking at the need of a 21st century woman or man. What do we want in marriages anyway? Do we want to have marriages like our parents did in the past? Or do we want to have something new? Or what is it that our parents had that we want to upgrade or improve upon? That's what we want to talk about. And as we do, we will have you talk back. Thank you. Sister Juliet, you are an educationist. You are exposed to a lot of children every day, and then I'm sure you also interact with your parents. And this is an age where we have electronic media ruling most homes. Like Dr. Boyo said, he said, most times the man is on his computer, the women are chatting away and all that. So please, how does this interfere or interface with our marriages these days? And how can we make this work for us rather than work against us?
Thank you very much, Sister Maimuna. I don't know if I can call you Sister Maimuna since we're there. I think when it comes to marriage, everything should be done deliberately. I was at a seminar last week when our pastor invited an expert on marital issues. And he said that a lot of people have put their relationships on autopilot. You just allow the relationship, you leave it to take care of itself. I think that as an individual, because listening to Pastor Boyo and so many other experts when it comes to marriage, you are two different people from different backgrounds, different experiences and all that. You're coming together to agree to make this work. So you must take deliberate actions. You don't leave things to chance, to just happen. You want to work on your computer. You want to chat with your friend. But you take a deliberate step of dropping that computer, of dropping that phone and talking with your spouse. You're coming from outside and every other person looks good and you're saying, Baba Lucky, oh Mama Friday, Mama Lukmon, and you want to come into the house because your wife offended you yesterday and you want to give it back to her. But you're saying this must work. You take a deliberate step of saying, my darling, how are you? How was the day? Oh, I hope the children didn't give you problems. I think if we come to a point where we do everything in our marriage deliberately, then we'll have little or no issues.
Marriage. You see, when Dr. Boyo was talking, I said, what do you want to tell people again? See, because this is real life, real time. Things are really happening. See, but when he was just talking, I said, what do we really need to see him come here again and say anything? Honestly, I just felt that. Because it's like he's from the past, but he's living in the present. Because what is happening, and I'm close to that side too anyway. So, but the truth is, things have gone faster than what we are seeing. Everything is internet, everything is Facebook, everything is this, everything is that. So in this century, believe me honestly, some of us are trying to catch up. So that is why I said, when he spoke, I said, how did he know all these things? Because even me myself, I don't even know them. So I'm just being frank here. So when you hear people talk and you see, she was saying something really true. You see, you are getting somebody that you don't even know before. You are two different individuals coming together to come and live as one.
That is what the Bible tells us. But are you really sure the person that you are dealing with? So when they come to see you, they want to marry, they just want to marry. But really, that is a sign that something too go wrong. Because a man that can hold you in front of your mother and try to strangle you, what do you think will happen when you start that? So that is a sign. So in this century, things are really going fast.
Okay, you say in this century things are going fast, right? And then we see these signs, telltales that things will go wrong. Yet, we go into marriage believing that we can change the next person. You are closer to the generation we're talking about, so tell us, what do you think is the need of a 21st century man in marriage? With internet interfacing with the marriage and life every day.
I still find it very funny that I'm sitting here trying to talk about marriage when I'm barely 2 months into marriage. I want to thank the doctor for the things he said. Yes, I think it's from the past when he's living in the present. So I want to use that to tell us something. You cannot successfully live in the present if you don't activate the past. Yes, he's cannot be so sure how many years, but I know he's more than, I think, 30 years in marriage. Just probably 50-something days now. But one thing I've come to understand is you don't need a master's degree to get married. Don't deceive yourself. Don't. Everything the doctor said here today is in you. You know those things. It's just that you try to ignore the fact that you know those things. Now let's bring it now to something. Let's have a scenario here. I want to draw inference from the Bible. The Bible says, for this cause a man shall leave his father. Note that part. A man leaving his father. He did not say something about the wife leaving the mother or something. Get that part. And he shall be with the woman, and they shall be one. Now, you need to understand that after you get married, you're now one with your wife. That is to say, if your wife is your rib, that is to say you have some feminine tendency in you. So you shouldn't have problems washing clothes if you feel your wife is the one to wash clothes. You shouldn't have problems cooking. If you're one with her, that is to say you have some feminine tendencies in you. So by the time people start calling you, boy, you don't talk about, you say yes, and I'm married. I was discussing with someone yesterday, and the person called me. My wife's middle name is Uchi, and the person called me. He said Mrs. Uchi, and I said yes, that's me. You can call my wife Mr. James because in her there is a James, and in me there is a Joy. So, if you get to understand that you are one, the issue of communication will not come in. Do you need an iPad to talk to yourself? Do you need a phone call to talk to yourself? What do you need to talk to yourself? At times you don't even need to speak. So you're having issues with your wife and you want to go to the other room, you want to send a text message to her for her to understand. You're saying, okay, the doctor once said we should communicate. I think you don't get the concept of marriage. You don't. So, in my present age, I've come to understand that you don't need anything. everything you need. I can ask somebody here because it was so baffling the day I got married. I left the marriage venue with just this ring. This was the only thing I left there with, and myself, my wife. You tell yourself, I need to get a car, I need to get a house, I need to get this, I need to get that. I was thinking about that. If I get married, I'll get a house, I'll get this, I'll get that, I'll get it. The day I got married, I just asked myself, you've been suffering. I've been punishing myself. I told my mom, I said, Mom, you are wicked. You have told me to get married some years back. So, what I'm trying to say is...
As an aside, he's not just saying this because he has to say this. I spoke to him like 2 weeks ago, and then he said to me, he was cooking. He was making a pot of soup. And I said to him, if you can make that kind of soup, what will your wife be doing in the house? And he said to me, he's teaching his wife how to make certain kinds of food in the house. And he's also getting the wife to teach him some. So, he doesn't make this pointless if you're a man and you're helping your wife in the house. It's not about muscles. It's not about masculinity. It's about making your marriage work.
Thank you. There are many ways to make your marriage work, but I'll just tell you one. Any marriage that you see that is going well, or any home that is going well, there is a fool in that house, in that home. So any marriage that is going well, there should be a fool. And I've applied that into my marriage, and it's working.
Way back, we have this issue where men are dominating, where men are in charge, men are in control of everything. A man can stand up today, he's the one providing for the family, he's the breadwinner, he provides everything, he tells the woman, sit down, and the woman sits down. But we've come to a generation where women are now, they're empowered, they're civilized. That thing that makes a man, they too have it. They go to school, they're educated, they have good jobs, they can provide on their own. So why would you tell them to just sit down? So men should get that into their head, that the women are not the women they used to have in the 70s or the 80s, where they just tell them to sit down and they just sit down. Now, if men are able to reconcile this, that the women are not just a property they acquire and they can just talk to, that women are like partners in this. It's like a business. You are now having a partner to work with. So there's a role for the man, there's a role for the woman. Thank you very much.
Good evening, all. I'm Francis Ololo. My own view or comment or contribution is that there's no best way to make a marriage work. The only best way for me is the personal conviction between the two parties involved in a marriage. Like my sister here said, there has to be a deliberate act. That means, and I would say, you must decide that whichever way my marriage must work. You must understand that if Adam was perfect, there would not be any for an Eve. We are to complement one another. And I can't completely know you. It's all about tolerance. If I breed a goat, a cock, a cat in the same compound, they will all live together. It doesn't mean they won't fight. They will fight. But if an outsider comes in, they will fight against it. They will move on. We are different people, different background. That we must appreciate. So whatever comes out of you that's new, that I don't know before, I take it. But the conviction is that my marriage must work.
If there is any being that I respect, is a woman being. I'd like us to put us together for our women here. Now, for the husbands, we must learn to respect the women. Because the roles that they play, we as men cannot. Now, the next to that is that when your spouse starts behaving differently, you must learn to tolerate your spouse. Now, there's a man that came in here and said, you must apply the formula of foolishness. Now, mumu, now they marry. Now, mumu, they succeed for marriage. Now, the other one I want to say quickly is this. I learned this from my boss in the office. And I was a victim of that. Anytime I'm coming back, I'm returning from work, my family is expecting me with great joy. The husband is coming. And then the moment I get into the house, I'm looking for what to complain about. And then my mother said, look, don't complain. What you do is fix it. If you see any problem in the house, there is no need to complain. Just fix it. And then as you keep fixing it, your wife is observing. Because women and children, they learn by observation. So when they see you fix it, then they will start fixing it. The Lord will bless us.
Is there anything strange in this age that affects marriage? Yes. We've been looking at it as if the internet. What people are talking about in the internet is just three things. The site. Nobody's saying the internet is wrong. We're talking about how the sites visited, yes, affect marriages. And these three sites are pornography, dating sites, and then flirting through chats. These are the three things people are worried about. Nobody's talking about the internet. If you go to Conga, will your wife be angry that you went to Conga or Dildo? Nobody is going to talk about that. Or you went to sell it, OLS. Nobody's bothered about that. So that's about the internet today. The other thing I was said before, which I want to make note, marriage is the only school. Unfortunately, maybe we'll stop it in the next world if there's anything like that. Marriage is the only school where you get a certificate before you go to school. I get it. You have not gone to the school on your wedding day, they are giving you the marriage certificate. Ideally they should wait a bit first. In normal school, you do 100 level, 200 level, you carry receipt, carry over, then they now give you convocation day, they give you the degree. Marriage, you have not even started. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Kogberegbe, they give you certificate. You have not even started, you carry certificate. And that's where the problem is in marriage. The certificate comes before the action. You've not done jump, you've not done anything, they give you a certificate. Why do you want to go to school again? Don't you think that we should wait first? You marry, and then you hold your certificate and see whether you are qualified. But let us know this. Let's know this. In every marriage, there's always a troublesome person. There's always what? Troublesome. And it rotates. This week may be your week for trouble. Next week may be your husband's week. Just know who is on duty that week. So when someone is on duty, just take it that he's on duty this week. Are you getting me? When my own starts, not talk say I'm mad. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm also so impressed by the sustained interest of people who have stayed here all this while. I think it's also an indication that we want our marriages to work and that we want to pick up new things to work on in our marriages. As I sat there, I just want to quickly summarize what I think I heard, hoping that it will be a true reflection of what was done here all day. Let me start with, you must discuss very many issues and be on the same page on those issues before you step in. I want to say that we should note that words spoken can only be forgiven. They will not be forgotten. For instance, if you are the kind of man, when there is an issue, you say, get out of my house. You are going to leave my house today. Don't think that that woman will forget. She will not forget. They live with her. And they also affect her attitude. I'm surprised nobody talked about wife battering here. If you pinch me, I can never forgive you. So what about those men who beat up their wives? And then you expect you are in bed the next day. And you expect her not to have just forgiven. She would have just forgiven. She wouldn't have forgotten. As a woman, I am close to 60. I want the men in-house and the women to say yes if it's true. It gets to a point that the woman just wants to be respected. You just want to be respected. If I have said yes sir, all this while because you provided the house, you provide the meals, you provide the money for holidays, will it not get to a point where I also deserve to be respected? So sometimes, and even if you don't even have the money as a woman, as you move on in marriage, a time comes that I want my husband to respect me. Even if I have no money, I have your kids and I'm your wife, I want to be respected. We are what we think we are. If I think that I want my marriage to work, and we are working on it deliberately, then the marriage will work. Even watch how you construct your sentences, because there are sometimes you construct sentences and they are so disrespectful, they are insulting. Coming from the man or coming from the woman, they can be demeaning. So if you are deliberate, you are going to think before you leap. We have come to be in a society where we think that women should not even express sex. If they have the urge for sex, they should not mention it. Women should mention when you want your husband to make love to you, you should be able to walk up to him and say, this is what I want tonight. This is what I want this morning. I don't want to get out of bed until I feel happy with that. Why can't a woman say it? A man can say it. We need to appreciate our women when they need that need satisfied. And it's not that she's a whore. You would know that it's not every time she wants to be made love to. So when she wants it, why not let her say it? May God help everyone here who wants to be happy in marriage. Marriage is where to be because it is ordained by God. If it were not, it's the most difficult thing. You find a stranger on the street, you pick him or her, and you decide to start, living together. It's not easy, but God intends that we work at it. Let's work at it. It's workable. It's doable. Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate you for standing with us. I appreciate you for managing our snacks. Don't worry. The next one, we'll make sure we have sponsors before we start advertising so we don't get embarrassed.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You've all been a wonderful audience. Please round of applause for yourselves. For the support.
Welcome back. We're still bonding with Maimuna. Today we had Dr. Rekiya M Abaji said something to us. She said, when you pinch me, I may not forget it. And he said, what you send out may not be forgotten or forgiven. So be mindful of what you say to people. So today we're saying, what are you saying in your home? Are you mindful of what you say? Or are you using words as a weapon of warfare in your house? Or you're using your children as a weapon of warfare at home? Like the little boy we showed to you today on the seminar. So what is it you're doing in your home that makes your marriage go wrong? So we implore you, unbound, to make your marriage work if it is not at the expense of your life. If it's not going to kill you, that man is not going to kill you, make it work. But if it's going to kill you, please run as fast as your legs can take you.
Don't let go. We can be all we want. We can leave us one. We can leave us one. We can leave as one. We can leave as one. It's a choice to make your marriage work. It's a deliberate choice, we can live as one. Don't give up on each other. Trust one another. Live as one. Trust God in your marriage. Trust God in your spouse. Because you can live as one.